Hello and God bless you all. This is Blake Wimberly. I'm married to Hilda Iris Flores Wimberly, and we are currently visiting Grace Bible Church at Bakersfield, California. You know, last night I couldn't shake off a video idea and also what I've been learning as of late. I couldn't shake off this thought because here's the thing. We all love quoting Romans 8:28. And we know that God causes all things to work together for good according to those 11 men are called according to his purpose. We all love quoting when Joseph comes back from Egypt and he says to his brothers in Genesis 50 verse 20, "What you guys meant for was for evil, but God meant it for good, to preserve many people alive." And of course, who can never forget, Psalm 115 verse 3 says that, "But our God is in the heavens, he does all that he pleases." We all love quoting those verses, and we all love talking about the sovereignty of God. But can I ask you a profound question? Are you prepared when God takes something away from you? Are you prepared when God takes away a loved one that you've loved all of your life and suddenly he's gone, or she's gone? Your uncle is gone, your grandpa is gone, your grandma is gone. Yes, we talk about the sovereignty of God all day, but do you realize that that part of God's sovereignty is him taking away things from you? Do you understand that? Because see, here's the thing. When I went up to Bakersfield, I had to sell my car. And I had to put my clothes away in storage. And then, of course, as most of you know, I got laid off of my job. And sometimes I even doubt the goodness of God at times. But however, this is all part of you being trained up. This is that Romans 5 that says that trials produces character and perseverance. This is part of the sovereignty of God. Have any of you read the book of Job? Remember what he went through. Remember, Job went through losing all of his things. But do you remember what happened? Job said to his wife that, "Are we just to expect good things to come from the Lord?" And exactly it. And this is the problem with today's Western evangelical world. We have gotten so wrapped up in what's called the prosperity gospel, which is health, wealth, and prosperity. And so we just expect that God is going to give us health, wealth, and prosperity all the time, when in reality, that's not even the case. There are times where he's going to take away your health, wealth, and prosperity, so you trust in him more. Do you really believe in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5, to trust in the Lord with all your heart? And do not lean on your own understanding. And it does not mean to put away your knowledge. It does not mean to put away wisdom. It means to truly trust in him no matter what happens. And even in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 2, it says to be ready in season, out of season, to preach the word. Not when you feel like it, but even when you don't feel like it. And haven't you guys read in the Old Testament, especially the book of Lamentations in chapter 3, that after all that Jeremiah saw, even child cannibalism, in Lamentations chapters 1 and 2, then you get to chapter 3 and he still says, "Great is your faithfulness." So all of us so-called Calvinists and all these so-called people will do all that they can to proclaim the sovereignty of God, but then when one little thing happens in their life, then that's when they start questioning God. Then that's when they start doing all that. But will you trust God even when you lose your job? Will you trust God even when your car is completely totaled? When will you trust God? When everything good is happening? Will you trust God when when all is peaceful and fair? Or will you trust God when He's taken things away from you and you have nothing left but Him? Honestly, me and my wife don't even have a place to stay at. We don't have a home of our own. There's honestly times where I feel like I'm going to end up sleeping in a cardboard box because we don't have a place to live at times. And the only places that we lived at is under my parents' roof, under Aunt Comadre and Aunt Compadre's roof, which means good family friends in Espanol, and a granny flat in somebody's backyard. Other than that, we don't have a place to live of our own. We have no place to live. But at least God has given us a roof over our head. But still, we don't have a place to live. I don't have a car of my own. I'm not a millionaire. So therefore, I'm so used to God taking things away from me to do it. But are you? Are you even ready when God sends no money to you after you have asked for it for months straight? Are you ready for that? Are you? Because God will put you through those things. God will do it. God will put you in those situations, and the question is, will you still trust Him? Will you still trust Christ? Because that's been a difficult and challenging part for me, is trusting the Lord when He has taken so many things away from me. And now I'm 30 years old. I've been on God's green earth now for 30 years now. And sometimes I don't even see the direction that my life is even going. But what stands out the most is God is sovereign. He knows what He's doing, and part of His sovereignty is taking stuff away from me. Do I like it? Absolutely not. I hate it, honestly. I hate when He takes something away from me. But the reality is that it helps us to trust in Him more. He took away my grandpa. He took away my granny. He's taken things away from me that I've felt so comfortably in. But guys, this is part of the sovereignty of God, and you need to get used to it. If not, you will not grow and mature in Christ. So get used to it. God is going to take more stuff away from you. Just get used to it. He will. And you can either think that He's terrible for doing so, or you can say, Lord, you have a sovereign plan in all this. Because honestly, I have struggled and even have tempted to say that, Lord, you're terrible for taking all this stuff away from me. Yet that's where the biblical promises need to kick in the most. Where, okay, that John 15 verse 5 makes very clear that if we abide in, that He abides in us, and without Him we can do absolutely nothing. John 15 verse 5. And so these biblical reminders ought to catapult us to trust Him even more. So that's what I ask of you today. Are you prepared when God takes stuff away from you? Or do you just want to trust God when everything is comfortable and easygoing like a lazy river? Or will you trust Him also when He takes you down scary waterfalls? That's what I want you to think about throughout this year and through the rest of your life. Will you trust God even when He takes stuff away from you? Think about that. God bless.